Fair, accurate, to the point. The 10 o'clock news starts now on Q2, Montana's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Benton. Those stories in a moment. But first, a motorcyclist has died after colliding with a SUV on a well-traveled Billings roadway tonight. The collision took place at the intersection of 6th Street West and Grand Avenue shortly after 8 o'clock tonight. Sergeant Riley Finnegan with the Billings Police Department tells Q2 the driver of the motorcycle, a man in his 20s, was seriously injured after colliding with a Toyota 4Runner. The motorcyclist was transported by ambulance from the crash to the Billings clinic, but died there this evening. The Toyota 4Runner has Helena license plates, and it is unknown how many people were in that vehicle. Now, at last word, Grand remains at least partially closed from Virginia Lane to 8th Street West as investigators work from the scene. Now, the Billings Police Department also is investigating a suspicious death. Police responded to 4434 Murphy Street Friday night just after 9:30 for a report of a suspicious death. When officers arrived to that address, they discovered a deceased female. Now, that individual is being described as a 77-year-old Billings woman. She has not been identified as police continue to notify family. Now, the police remained on the scene until 7 o'clock this morning. An autopsy is scheduled for Monday to determine a cause of death. And now also tonight, turning our focus to national news, today marked the 1-year anniversary of the movie theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado. The people of Aurora gathered for a day of remembrance ceremony. White roses were handed out, and 12 white crosses were each adorned with a name of one life lost in the tragedy. People placed mementos, ribbons, flowers, and other items at the base of the crosses. A community memorial is being held by the theater tonight. Now, also making news across the nation today, a state of emergency declared for the mountain communities near Palm Springs, California, where a fire has destroyed 42 square miles. Now, the fire threatens thousands of homes, and fire crews are worried storms could make the situation more volatile. Melanie Woodrow has the latest from the scene.
Yeah. Wow.
Congressman Raul Ruiz surveys the destruction from the wildfire burning in the San Jacinto Mountains. The area is under a state of emergency after the fire scorched more than 27,200 acres.
One of the purposes of our visit today was to determine the flow of resources.
Behind Congressman Ruiz is what's left of Fritz Wuke's home, one of at least 7 homes devoured by the wildfire. Wuke says he had just moments to get out.
I just told him to get all the stuff you can think of and throw it in the car.
You can see the path of destruction. It took out this building, then this shed. The flames traveled all the way to the steps of this camp, but firefighters stopped the fire just in time. Fire crews trudged through the steep, rugged terrain, mopping up hot spots. But some areas are so remote, elite hotshot crews are using tramps to access the fire.
It's probably the hardest way to find fires. It's the old-fashioned way with Pulaskis and chainsaws, but you have to have the boots on the ground to get around the fire.
Scattered showers brought much-needed rain, but firefighters are concerned about the lightning and erratic winds.
That's what's unpredictable. They can throw out firebrands and spot fires. That's our big concern.
5,600 homes are still threatened. Many residents have fled, but they've left behind signs of their gratitude to the more than 3,300 firefighters keeping their homes safe. Melanie Woodrow for CBS News, Mountain Center, California.
Fires making news across the state today as well. However, little change to report from those blazes, both on the western side of the state. The Gold Creek fire in the Rattlesnake Wilderness is holding at around 170 acres, while the West Milan fire near Superior has grown to 4,500 acres, but jumped to 30% containment tonight. Also, evacuation orders for that fire have been partially lifted. We turn our attention now to weather, and of course, the heat is playing a contributing factor to most fires burning in the western United States, and we have Q2's Jason Laird now joins us to tell us more. Jason, it's been quite the roaster out there.
Man, it's been a roaster outside, and some of those things we got to look at with fire weather is the humidity and dew point, and both of them are very, very low, and we have some northwestern winds kicking up as well. So those are all going to feed into that fire weather and potentially spur off some blazes over the next week or so. All right, Jason, we'll be coming back to you here in just a few moments. Thank you. Thanks. All right, well, the Beartooth Rally is one of its most unique, Red Lodge is one of its most unique
events, with its loudest participants taking up Main Street. Now, each July, Q2's Dustin Kleeman has the story with plenty of throttle.
People don't get a chance to ride roads like this. These are the best roads in the United States. They come from all over the world to ride these roads, and we can take them up there and show them what's going on and where to go and feed them and give them a big party.
While Big Jim may be a bit biased, he definitely gives good perspective on the night.
And thank you, Dustin. The festivities don't stop tonight as the Iron Horse Rodeo kicks off at 1 p.m. tomorrow. You can find it all by going down to the home of the Champion Rodeo grounds there in downtown Red Lodge. Now, back in Billings tonight, car owners turned North Park into an outdoor museum today, with classics ranging from the early 1900s to the 1970s. Q2's David J. reports on the 6th annual all-original car show.
Car owners enjoy restoring and showing their favorite cars, and some even give their car a name.
They said, "Oh, you found Clara." And I, of course, called it Winston.
Richard Vandevegate says he soon found out Winston Churchill may have owned a similar car, but not this one.
Somebody said that it had belonged to Winston Churchill's sister. Well, when I had it and started restoring it, I found out he didn't have a sister.
Winston is a 1936
And thank you, David. 5 clubs in the area, by the way, put on all the original car shows. Don Cantrell says it appears to be the only show of its kind, rather, in the country. In fact, a club from Virginia came out to the show today and is considering putting on a similar show in their neck of the woods. And from wheels to tracks we go now. A device called the Ultimate All-Terrain Wheelchair was designed for a man living right here in Montana. MTN's Melissa Anderson introduces us to the Action Track Chair and shows us how its popularity has gone nationwide.
Tracks are better than wheels. That's according to 31-year-old Jeff Swenson, whose life has been dramatically changed for a second time with his mobility.
Yeah, definitely big boots compared to shoes.
Swenson has been in a wheelchair since he was 17 years old following a car accident that paralyzed him from the chest down. But in 2008, his father designed the Action Track Chair, which now allows him to go almost anywhere.
Nothing compares. A four-wheeler, I ride a four-wheeler too. This goes slow and you can have so much fun.
For Jeff, his wife, and 3-year-old son Xander, the Action Track Chair, which...
And straight ahead on the weekend news, we take a look beyond our borders and remember a significant anniversary of an event that was out of this world. Plus, Royal Baby Watch is in full swing. And later in sports, the East comes out Fringe in Butte with their eyes on the Shrine game title.